Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Larry Lewis again on the Mentors Lounge. Today on the Mentors Lounge, I bring a phenomenal young man. He's someone that I've observed over a period of time, and I thought it fit to bring him to the Mentors Lounge. My guest on the Mentors Lounge today is Munir O. He's a creative, a talented young man, below 25 years of age, and he has done so much for himself. So I'm bringing him aboard today because I want us to learn from someone who has been able to get his acts right as a young man. So without further much ado, I would like to invite Munir O. Welcome, Munir, to this platform today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Larry Lewis. It's a plum pleasant pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much.
All right. I don't like blowing trumpet of my guests, but I want my guest to introduce himself. Who is Munir? How did Munir start this journey of being a creative? I mean, when I see some of the things that you do, I'm always impressed because you're a young man that has focus. So Munir, can we meet you? Meet our viewers today.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Munir TheirWorld. Munir TheirWorld is a young creative polymath. Majorly, I like to call myself a creative. Yes, because that explains the vast skills and put it this way, skills and ability of things I can work around. So this made me go into project management. Because project management, as it depicts, goes across wide fields and sectors and industries. So I'm a project manager and a product manager. I've worked on different projects, worked with different startups as a growth strategist, consultant, and in general, I am a creative with experience in corporate organization, communication, media. Well, okay, so how did it start? Well, for me, I think it started when I was little. I loved to do things that distinguishes me amongst my peers. Well, it's like the ugly duckling that is now the center of attraction. So basically that's it. I'm the outspoken one because I'm always inquisitive. Like up till now, I'm very inquisitive when I ask why a lot. So the more I ask why, the more I want to know more. Like why, sometimes I ask myself, why is there why? Because I don't know, but why? So the more I ask why, the more it opens my mind, the more I want to know more. So I'm a philomath. I'm always ready to learn. I say to my colleagues and friends, I'm a student of life. My journey, it's a journey of a lifetime. I just want to keep on learning, making impact. So it started when I was young. I love to draw things, sketch out things, beat any surface with my hands. I like to ask questions. I like to call it character miming, when you have imaginary characters, two toys talking to each other. Yes, I can do this. Pum pum pum. Those kind of things. It's they, while growing up, they'll be like, stop doing this. It's not good. But to me, it was fun. I could see them alive, even though when they are not inanimate, but I could see them animated. So those kind of things were contributing factors to my creativity. And while growing up, my mom played a major role in my development. I give her all the accolades of she's of blessed memory now, and I used to say she's my first #1 talent manager. I could remember when I was young, as far back as nursery 2, I started representing my school at debates. Imagine, I was a chief lead speaker while a primary 5 student was a supporting speaker. How did this happen? I don't know. While I was young, I was very vibrant. I would ask questions. Not like I was rebellious, but if a teacher asked us to sleep, I'll ask why. Why should we sleep? If I ask us to do something, I always want to know why. Later in life, I found out that not everything has to have a reason. Sometimes just have to, flow along. So I used to ask why. So they saw me as outspoken, in cultural displays, end of the year party. I'm always the king. If I'm not doing the king, I'm doing the lead actor, like the protagonist or the antagonist. So I'm always on the limelight. Then I had to she'll sit me down as early as 6 in the morning after the normal prayers. Then I'll begin to cram a lot of things. She made me cram a lot. Then came the opportunity for us to do the debate. She said, you are going to do this because there are going to be trials where everybody would come, put your point down, and 2 outstanding people would represent the school. So I had to cram. I could remember after the nightly prayers, around 9, I would cram till around 1. She would say, recite after me. I would cram. I could remember Professor Babs Pafonwa, the experimental science of School of Afemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. I got some students, why indigenous language is Yoruba. I taught them in science, math, and everything, and they performed. The fact they had the best result in that year. I could still remember it was at MKO Stadium that year. Teachers from other schools came down to where I was and started giving me money. I was like, wow, making money very, very young. Well, that was later in life when I realized I started making money very young. Then later, the debates at Ogun State Television, OGTV, I would do speaking. While going on, people would be like, I've seen you before. You were the boy at OGTV. Wow, good one. I could basically say my 6 years of nursery and primary education. I represented my school almost every event, from NTA to cultural center to inter-schools to match past to sports. I was very vast, and my mom would sit me down. Then the amazing thing was she created this impression in me that there is nothing I can't do. I can be anything I want to be. So that's I would modern day parents now, I would encourage them, they should be their children's greatest cheerleader. Like, let them have that self-confidence that you can be whatever you want to be. It's very, very important. I guess that was what even gave me that more confidence that yes, while growing up, I never wanted to be anything. I just wanted to be a soldier. When everybody are saying, I want to be this, I want to be, where do you want to grow up? I always telling myself I want to be a soldier. If she wanted me, I never missed any Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Nigeria Armed Forces, their display, National Armed Forces Day. She even on NTA News, she called me Papati, come and see your friends. I would rush to the sitting room to see them marching, the bugle, the drumming. It's always like exhilarating. But she later changed her mind when I was quiet. Like, no, Boko Haram, no, still. But later on, when I was around 10-11, I started doing Yoruba oratory, Ewi, like eulogizing. I crammed more than 20. Yeah, more than 20 Ewi orikis of people, of cities, of towns, from Ofa to Oyo to K2 to Ado to Egba to I can remember one Olofa Mojo Abeokuta Ara Agbasan Afi Omi Odo Tami Epo Yokoto Lekun Ajifa mo dúró ọwọ́ mi ò tó ṣe mú bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọwọ́ mi ò tó ìgbà tí wá dàgbálẹ̀ yẹ́kẹ́ ni ṣe ń wọ́ sí mi lójú ni ṣe ń wọ́ sí mi lẹ́nu ọmọ agúnyán pupa fàlejò pupa ojú ní ojú ń tàlejò ojú ń tiyán ojú ń tọbẹ̀ nínú àwo ìkànnì òjìgbà ọmọ okùn ọ̀rọ̀. You know, she made us read books. In my house, I think the only thing I can say is an inheritance for me are books from both parents, practically speaking. Yes, practically speaking. You read books. You read J.F. Odunjo, you read Shoyinka, Achebe, Cowboy, you read Lantern books, Lantern publishers, Kusan, is it Kusan? This Ivory, two Ivory, what are they called? I don't know. I remember their banner or their insignia on books. Yeah. So you read books. You read books. TV to reading books was like 20 to 80.
Wow.
20 to 80. You only watch TV for news. And it's got to the time that I was almost every Friday I would be called out upon to come and tell them what happened along the week. So it's like, you know, even NTA news, then IIT. You know, I growing up, I loved two things: commercials and news. And I think that was what, you know, got me into the media and entertainment industry later in life, like presently. You know, but then I loved commercial. There was from Always to Omo to Ariel to Bonvita to Milo to who again were the prominent, even Miss Bimbo back then. Then you watch Super Stories. It's compulsory. It's like This Life and Super Stories. They're like family tradition then. So she exposed us to these things, and it was under how I put it, management. You watch TV Thursdays for Super Stories, every Saturday and Sunday for Newsline, the one that extends to 9 p.m. You watch from 8 to I think 9, 10, depending on Then we watch interviews. So she exposed us to particular content that will build your cognitive and the way you think. So it's very, very important for parents to take special attention when you discover your child is vast skilled. You know, I never wanted to be a public speaker. I am innately, I'm a very shy person. I'm in between that shy and outspoken. You know, I don't like doing the talking most times, but she pushes me out that, okay, you can do this. So, you know, she told me one day that she would love to see me standing in front of a large audience doing, you know, massive speaking, and she said she saw the dream and she would love me to actualize it. She doesn't know what it is, but you know, while growing up, I ruminate over it and I'll be like, well, I don't know whatever it is. I don't know whatever it is. I was like, is it a presidential campaign? Is it an event? She said she doesn't know, but that was a dream and I should work towards it. That I am a leader. Well, you know, I don't want to dwell more so that I can move on. But she was a major catalyst to the individual.
She was your life coach.
Yes, she was. You know, when we go to events and you know, she'll be like, we want to get something. How many events have you gone to? Yeah, I've gone to this event. How much did you make? Now you have your money. Go and get it yourself. Money that I want to save to buy a mobile device. No. Now it's when you work for your own money, then you would appreciate it. So those kind of things, it made us realize the worth of money, why you shouldn't waste things, why it's important for you to be hardworking, you know, those kind of values and morals. I think you know, when I see the society nowadays, I'm not saying I'm too young, I'm very, very young, but I'm very, very small. But I think these values are are not in modern day young people or people growing up, the Gen Z. It's very
eroding.
Yes, sometimes they say the millennials, but one thing I appreciate about the millennials is values. That values they instill in you, the respect, the courtesy. It's nowadays, it's very appalling, but that's not the bone of contention. That bone of contention is how it all started. So it all started from there. Then while growing up, read books on self-discovery, mentors. I have a lot of mentors, whether we speak, whether we don't speak. Sometimes I take my time, I go on Google and I read about Genghis Khan. I can watch a documentary about, if I admire you and I see something, I read up about you, and one thing I do is everybody I read up about, I want to surpass them. So it is that push that I want to be better than this person. I would, use the model into my own way it fits, because it's not everything that fits. Tradition of the olden days in the 1890s might not be what is applicable right now. But what's applicable, I put it into practice. Leonardo da Vinci was one of my greatest mentor. Galileo Galilei himself, he was an inventor, he was a scientist, he was a philosopher, he was a statesman, he was a religious person as well. He worked with the church. So those are the things, Leonardo da Vinci's mind still amazes me. The only person that I know that still kind of have Leonardo da Vinci's mind is Elon Musk. And I do say it, I've not said this publicly, but I admire that mind so much that I want to surpass that kind of mind. I really want to surpass that kind of mind. Because I was doing a research yesterday online, and I saw, because for me research is everyday thing. I learn every day. So that's another thing one should learn every day. I saw him. He's done with Neuralink. He's launching his smartphone. He's the Neuralink where you put a chip in your brain, you can control your mobile device, you do things, and his mobile device is going to surpass Apple. It's going to put Apple on a very long run if it eventually scales into the market. But I know he has all the strategy and has the best mind at his disposal. So it's something that it's very fascinating, where we no longer just think of it and it happens. Pick up your calls, reply text messages, plan your schedule, do things with your mind, just from your mind here. That's wizardry. That's magic. I think I just lost power here.
Yeah, so Munir, thank you so much for that initial introduction. What I can just speak from this is that the formative years of any person is very critical, very important to the final outcome of that person later in life. So your mom has been a very great inspiration. I will call her a great driver indeed. She's the mother. She's I will say, those kind of mothers that take the growth of their children, right, as paramount. They take it as like a primary assignment, and that is what has come out in what we're seeing you today. Now, thank you for that introduction. I want to zoom in further into some of the things that you do today. You are the JCI president at FUNAAB. You are still a student in school, but you run businesses.
Definitely.
When I check your profile, you are in YALI. You're a fellow of a couple of bodies internationally, and you combine all this together and you're still a student. I'm sure you also have money-making venture right there in the university, even outside. The question I want to ask you is, for the massive population of undergraduates in Nigerian universities, what can you say to them about turning what they already have into an enterprise? how can they create value with what they have and not be carried away by the get-rich-quick schemes that are around in institutions today? You see that most of the university students, the patience to learn or to get to know how things are done. People are so crazy about Vanity Fair, showing off and things like this. But what can you say about helping these undergrads that apart from studying, it can be more? Because like when I was in my first year in my university OAU back then, there are some people that we call triangle. That means from the class to the library to their room, class, library, room, and that is a cycle. And anybody that goes through that cycle is not complete, because you need to allow the system, the environment. The higher institution is a micro ecosystem of the outside world. You have marketplace there, you have enterprise there, you have everything that you can think of. So if you're able to master what is happening in that small space, then you have a fair chance of being able to swim in the big ocean that lies outside. So from what you are doing, you're already prepared for the bigger stage. What can you advise them, right? It is better it is coming from someone who is in than from people like us who have gone beyond that. But you, being there now, can speak to what is your language. So I'd like to hear you on that, Lutz, please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So the most important question, where I do have colleagues who ask me the same questions. Even a few days ago, I still had someone who is not even in my university, but in a different university. She asked me, how can she do it? She's an accounting student and she's a creative as well, but she's afraid to test the waters. The first thing, when someone asks me, Munir, how do you combine everything together? Well, I just tell them, I know where I'm coming from, I know why I'm doing it, and I know where I'm going to. This should be the question you should ask yourself. Why? Why are you doing this? Where are you going to? So if you can answer these questions, then I guess you've already gotten the passport to start your journey. I know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the middle class family. Where am I going to? I'm going to a place where I want to live a comfortable life and as well impact everyone. So definitely, I cannot be an average. I cannot live my life like an average student. Technically speaking, for the past 3 years, I cannot boldly say I have slept more than 5 hours for the past 3 years. If I sleep more than 5 hours, then I have had a burnout and I'm on medication, which requires me to. I sleep average of 3 hours every day. Most people ask me, why are you always online? Well, why should I be sleeping? I'm broke. I'm not there yet. Okay, basically, I don't like to say this, but I'm on a mission to up 30 under 30. And I see young people, okay, last year I made the nomination of Nigeria's 25 under 25. So, but that's not where I'm going to. I'm going to Forbes under 30. I want to have a global standard enterprise. I want to have a greater global audience impact. And I do tell my friends, okay, my next door neighbors, they saw me doing some things where I was having a burnout and I was still trying like, this boy, don't kill yourself. I was like, then okay, she already know my response. When that person is a senior colleague, when we were back there in secondary school, he's a president of engineering. of the whole engineering college. So he came to me for some discussions. So it was like, this boy, don't kill yourself. And my next door neighbor said he wants to be on first state at 30 and he wants to retire by age of 40.
Awesome. This is wonderful.
I tell myself I want to do the work of next 10 years and next 15 years now. So I can rest by 40, have time for my family, have time for my kids, and impact the world. So I know where I'm going to, I know my end point, I know where I'm starting point, and I know I have to make the sacrifices, I have to make everything. So nothing is impossible. Open your mind to it. Attract your mind to anything. There are going to be dark days. I have dark days.
Yeah.
I have dark days. I'll go under the shower and tears will not even come. I have days you just sit down and be like, why am I even doing all this? You'll be tired. It's a lonely race. Because you are racing against yourself. You're not racing against anybody. You are racing against that goal that you've set ahead. So it's going to be very, very lonely. But once you know where you are going to, I know where I'm going to, and I know why I have to do this. So you can combine your academics, you can combine entrepreneurship, you can combine leadership, or I call it leadership or politics or student politics, whatever it is. You can combine corporate and social impact activities as well. In fact, entertainment. I have brilliant minds who organize events, who organize shows, and they are still on first class. They are still on very strong 2-1. So it's about finding balance. Find balance. When I mean finding balance, it does not have to be, okay, someone asked me, do you attend all classes? I'm not proud to say this, but I do my best. I do my best. I do my best every time, because academics is like very key. That's why I'm in school, and that has been the platform that is giving me the opportunity to meet awesome people and all. So but there's just sometimes you just can't help it. Whereby you traveled and you are rushing back to have your class early in the morning, and those kind of things, you don't even like get to rest. Your eyes will be very red and swollen, and you still have to attend class, and your mates, your colleagues will be looking at you like, well, I just smiled and said, well, we are not on the same journey. And it said I want to put the mantra I used to now me know what I defined. Now me know what I defined. That's my mantra. Now me know what I defined. I don't want to be an average. I always my drive. That's what I call my drive is distinguished service and meaningful impact. That's my drive.
Distinguished service
and meaningful impact. That's my drive.
Awesome.
So wherever am I, whether it's in sports, distinguished service. I represented my school in West African University Games for judo. While I was in my first year, I'm always there training like Then the sport director saw me. Can you do this? I started training. I represented my school, even though well, that's distinguished. I distinguish myself every niche I find myself, and I pay the price, the sacrifices. Not the canayo sacrifices, but I mean the sacrifices of your time, your sweat, your resources. Those kind of things. It would require you to do that. And when you find balance to these things, it's not going. Balance is not a one-day thing.
Yeah.
Balance requires you to fail. Balance requires you to reevaluate it. Balance requires you to re-strategize, and balance requires you to relaunch. There are days that I thought I prepared for this test, but if you had committed 3 hours to the test, to read for the test, most tests are just hello HOC, there's test, okay, I'm on my way. Vroom, 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 vroom. Okay, well, I appreciate God. I have a very, very smart mind. Even if I devote 10 minutes to something, once I all the things I get in that 10 minutes, it can never leave my mind. That's one awesome thing about me. So I think I am over